Alright, so here we go. I went ahead and took off the back part. It's right here. So the only real trouble you're gonna have is when it comes to the triggers, simply because as you know, the triggers on the Onza are kind of long. So sorry, I'm a little sick here. The triggers on the Onza are a little long, so it's kind of tricky to get the back part off. You kind of have to wiggle it out of there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and teach you how to take your Onza apart now. It's pretty simple. I'm not going to go ahead with the video until I tell you guys that I am not responsible for anything that you break or that might happen. This is actually my first time doing this, although I tested it on my dummy Onza in the last video. So I know it definitely does work. But yeah, here we go. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is take off... Here, let me see if I can flip this over, or if I can turn this around somehow. Give me a sec. Alright, first thing you're going to want to do is take off the bumpers right here, the programmable bumpers, and they're basically here. Let me use my X-Acto to show you guys. The bumpers are actually connected right there. Those bumpers, they don't have any screwdrivers, it just looks like they do, but it's right there. And you can really easily just pop them off. So let me go ahead and try to do that there. Alright, see? Easily just pop them off. And you see it's not there anymore, and you want to do that with both sides. You just kind of grab it from the top, grab from the top and pop it off. Literally just pops off. So I'm going to go ahead and set those to the side now. Alright, so now you're left with this. What you're going to want to do now is unscrew right there, and obviously on the opposite side right there. And the reason being is because that's what attaches the motherboard to the controller. Another thing is you're going to want to loosen this up, the cord. You're just going to want to kind of pop that out if you can. Again, don't break it. I'm not responsible for anything you might break. It actually might be easier when you take off the motherboard. So let me go ahead and take those screws off, and then I will go ahead and show you guys what to do next. There we go. The screws are off completely. I know it might look like there's another set of screws right there, but there really isn't. It's just the one right there that you have to worry about. So there's that. Also, another thing, I can't stress this enough. Whenever you take apart a controller, always tape the buttons down. Really, because the buttons are going to fall out. As soon as you flip your controller over, you try to flip it like in this direction, all your parts are just going to fall out. Or not parts, but your buttons are just going to completely fall out. It's going to be one big disaster, pain in the ass. It's really the last thing you want when you're trying to do something very carefully like this. So I actually didn't tape these down, and I probably should, because those are individual pieces and they fall out too. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. There we go. They're taped down. They're taped down. We can go ahead and move on. All right. So you're gonna flip it over. Let me move my tape over here. So you're gonna go ahead and flip it over, and this is what you're gonna have. You're basically gonna have the motherboard. So that's gonna be showing. Alright, so to take out the motherboard, it's actually fairly simple, but you still want to be really careful with it. This is usually where everything goes wrong. So again, I can't stress, you want to be very, very careful about this. You might have to wiggle it around a little bit for it to come out, but I've already taken mine out, so I'm going to go ahead and just lift it up from here, and it comes out just like that. You can't really see it, but it's lifted from the controller. That's really what you want. And then again, like I said earlier, you want to be able to take this cable, just kind of lift it off of there, because that's going to hold it back. So yeah, there's a motherboard. You're also, I'm not sure if the rumble packs are, nope, they're not. Okay, I thought they were glued on there, but you can just simply take those off. Now what you're going to want to do is take off the motherboard. So let's get to that. Oh, another thing is, on the motherboard, let me see if I can flip this over again to the side, or not to its side, but to this kind of the front view. Alright, there are two sensors, those right there. This here, let me see if I can show you guys in a better view here. Sitting on the floor. Alright, right here, those right there, those two. Okay, and on this opposite side, they are right there. Those two sensors. Okay, you're gonna feel like your motherboard is stuck. Sorry, my X-Acto knife was rolling away. You're gonna feel like your motherboard is stuck, and I really should have done this before. I'm sorry, guys. What you're gonna want to do is literally just pop them out there. They're attached to a little slot. Here, let me see if I can focus with my phone. Okay, yeah, much better. Okay, they're attached to a little slot right there, and you can really just slide them out of the slot. Same on this side. The thing is, on this side, it's this is the left side over here. On this left side, they're going to be attached to a little piece of tape. I've already taken it off. You're going to want to take off the tape first. It's a little thin black strip of tape. It's kind of fuzzy. You want to take that off. I think it's like electrical tape, but you're going to want to take that off essentially, and basically that's what's going to allow you to take your motherboard off of your Onza. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video right here, or I'm going to stop the video right here, and I'll see you guys back when I slide those out. Alright guys, welcome back. Another thing that I probably should have said that I can't stress enough, before moving on, you guys should still be watching this, where it's little slots here. Let me see if I can refocus. Right there, okay, perfect. That is the slot where it was in, the little kind of card slot looking thing that's right there. I'm going to get my X-Acto in here. Right there, that is your slot right there. And what you're going to want to do is you can't take it out, you can't take the sensors out by your hand, by hand. So what you're going to want to do is get under the slot. There's like a little opening down right here. Let me right there. Right there, there's like a little opening between the sensors and the slot. And what you're basically going to do is go under there with a small screwdriver or something of that sort, and just pop it up, just like that, pop it up. And what that's basically going to do is take out the two sensors, and I'm going to go ahead and move this to the side, and you're basically going to just be left with your motherboard. Hey! Alright, so here are the rumble packs. Make sure not to damage those, because you won't have any vibration, or else if you cut those off or they fall off or whatever. Alright, so this is your motherboard. Pretty whatever, I guess. Alright, and there is your problem. You see? Here, let me see. I'll move it to the side. And there it is. Your problem right there. Alright? So this is the problem, that when you're running forward, it doesn't register. And it might seem like it is, but it really isn't. Same, not so much on the right side, really. It's more of a left side problem, but I guess you can do something on the right side too, if you have the problem. So like I said in the very first video, you're going to want to take something very thin and sturdy, and you're pretty much just going to kind of wedge it in there between the pedal and the sensor. Let me see if I can focus in there. Okay. You're going to want to wedge something in there, in between the pedal and sensor, like over here on my dummy one, on my dummy test. Alright, you see how I wedged something in there? That's what you're going to want to do. Here, let me see if I can focus it. Whatever. Alright, so that's what you're going to want to do. It's in between the pedal and the sensor. You see? Right there? Alright, you're going to want to wedge something in there so that when you run, basically, it will register. So that, you can actually run and it won't stop. You can run Marathon Pro on Call of Duty, and, you won't have any problems getting anywhere. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here, and I'm going to go ahead and wedge something in there so that, it works properly. And I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, here we are again. I went ahead and jammed that little black plastic thing in there. Let me see if you can focus in. Yeah, so if you can see, I jammed it in there. It doesn't make the clicking noise, but the sensor's pushing. It's definitely pushing. One thing that I did notice is that the distance between the pedal and the sensor has actually gotten smaller. There's not much of a distance in there anymore, or at least on this controller, this current one, as opposed to my old one, where there was a pretty considerable gap between the sensor and the pedal right there, and that kind of lets me know that Razer is kind of looking into it and is making adjustments on their controllers to kind of fix it. So there's always an upside to that. If you don't want to take apart your controller, you could always just send it in, and hopefully your next one will be a better one. So there's that. But if not, if you're impatient like me, then you know, here's your solution right there. Alright, so I went ahead and jammed it in there already. And so now you're going to want to put the controller back together. You might want to put something in on this one if you're having trouble with the right analog stick. Then yeah, I would say, you know, jam something in there too. Like I said, I use one of these little black pieces. You can really use anything as long as it's, you know, small, thin. You can't see it from that angle, but yeah, it's, you know, not that big. You know, it's very thin, and I actually had to shave it down from what it is now, because like I had to cut it in half, because like I said, the distance between the sensor and the pedal on this newer controller that I got, this new Onza that I got, you know, maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that, the distance did get shorter. So I actually had to cut this in half, like you know, horizontally, like there. I had to cut that in half, right down the middle, just so that it could fit in there. To make it fit is kind of a problem. You're gonna want wrong side of the Zacto. Well, anyway, you're gonna want to take the Zacto knife, the sharp side, and you're gonna pretty much here. Let me see if I can do it here. I'm gonna put this down real quick. All right, you guys can still hear me though. I'm hoping. All right, let's do it while I'm here. All right. Okay, so you're pretty much going to take the thing and puncture it with your Zacto knife. Here, let me see if I can zoom in on that. Or focus, here. You're going to... Alright, so you're going to puncture it. And then you're basically just going to, like, go in and just jam it in there. And then, like, with your finger, like, as it's in, you're just going to kind of flip it off. It's going to be stuck in there, but you're just going to kind of, like, leave it, and then it'll stay. And you might have to just push it in a little bit more. So that you know, it's pretty steady and it stays and everything like that. Alright, so there's that. Yeah, so, you know, that's really one of the major problems with the Onza. Again, you know, not being able to, you know, just this button in general not registering. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my controller back together, and maybe I can show you guys how that works. So yeah. Alright guys, so here's the finished product. It doesn't look any different, but you know, I fixed the left analog stick, so yeah, it works a lot better now. You can't hear it click, as you can see, but you can definitely see it, which I'll show you guys in a second. So check this out. So you see, and I have Marathon right now, but god damn it, sorry, my friend killed me over here. But playing with one hand. Yeah, so it doesn't do the clicking sound. My friend's trying to shoot me again. And yeah, there's no stopping in the running, so definitely fixed. So yeah, hope I helped you guys out there. And yeah, thanks for watching.